Welcome to Ronin. My name is Rob. This is a personal development channel where I write a journal entry every day. I read out my journal entry, and it's usually themed around something that I'm thinking about at the time, whether it be something like AI, which is today's theme, or whether it's something like exercise or business or focus or habits. And what I'll do is I'll read out the journal entry and then I will riff afterwards, just on some thoughts and maybe expand a little on some areas. So today is the 8th of October, 2025. Today's theme is AI. So I'll read out the journal entry and then I will kind of expand on a couple of things afterwards. So 8th of October 2025. AI has been a hot topic for the last couple of years. I use ChatGPT from time to time. I find it useful to help create project roadmaps, and I try to get an objective perspective on my ideas. Maybe I'm using the wrong prompts, but I don't find it that great for graphical stuff. I was watching some videos on the subject of AI last night, and there seems to be three camps. Those that hype AI and think it will lead to utopia, those that think it will lead to the extinction of humanity, and those that think it's an overhyped bubble that is about to burst. They say it's useful for some specific tasks, but it's not as great as we're being led to believe. One of the videos was telling me how the big AI companies are losing billions and how the CEOs are lying to us and how the bubble is going to burst, while delivering the message with a weird AI clone of herself. I didn't notice immediately until I saw the eyes, eyebrows and hair doing some weird stuff, and the speech became quite monotonous with the same speed and rhythm throughout the whole video. Apparently the script was written by the actual person, which I'd like to believe, but part of me is having a hard time. So which camp do I find myself in? Probably more in the third camp. It's useful for some things, but massively overhyped. The people in this camp seem to be the most reasonable. I'm aware that I may be in denial and I do get scared due to the uncertainty of the future. But I'm also aware that some people are peddling fear to get clicks and watch time on their videos. I'm a fan of Tom Bilyeu, but recently a lot of his videos are very fear-mongery, whether it's about the economy or AI. He has cinematic music playing in the background while he emphatically explains how the world is falling apart. And of course, there are ads peppered throughout to promote a course or to buy gold. I like the guy. I even met him once in Vegas, but it does feel like he's baiting for clicks. There's no doubt AI is improving in its ability to produce things like music and video, but it is getting kind of boring. I do find human-made stuff much more interesting, and I prefer to watch and listen to real humans. I do think that there will be an outcry for human-made art, but I also fear that at some point we won't be able to tell the difference. This could be paralyzing, like what's the point in trying if AI is going to take over all of our jobs? I don't think we're there yet. If you love what you do, then do it anyway. If you don't see a reason to do it anymore, then maybe you were doing it for the wrong reason in the first place. There is value in human work and the human perspective. Yeah, so I kind of found myself down a bit of a rabbit hole last night, watching some AI videos. I tried to keep myself informed about AI and the progress, because it can potentially affect everybody. So it's good to kind of stay on top. But I do find that a lot of the videos are extremely firm, like just trying to instill fear in people. It's very dystopian. And then you get other people, it's going to change the world, it's going to do great things for medicine and all that kind of thing, which I think it could potentially do. Um, and then there was the third perspective where people are kind of saying it's a bubble, which it kind of does feel like. There's billions being invested in AI, but it costs a lot more for the AI companies than they currently make. And with the increase in capabilities, it's only going to get more expensive for them to keep producing the stuff that they want to produce. We're talking about all the massive GPU requirements and all the data centers that they're building, and it doesn't feel, from a practical perspective, yeah, there's some cool videos and stuff, but from a practical perspective, it doesn't feel like it's taken a huge leap recently. And there's some cool Sora 2 has just been released, and there's some cool videos going around, but again, they don't show you the number of attempts before they got that final video, how much prompting they needed to do, and all that kind of thing. So I'm not saying AI isn't moving in and isn't progressing, but from a practical standpoint and everyday use standpoint, it does feel like it's kind of at a bit of a plateau. And there are also people that refer to studies about programmers using AI to code, and in fact, they're spending less time actually coding, but overall, in a project, they're spending more time trying to work out prompts, trying to figure out where AI has gone wrong. There's lots of security holes. And I even tried myself to build kind of a web-based animation program using AI, because I've got a tiny bit of programming knowledge, kind of very foundational. So I tried to build a web-based animation program, and at the start it looked cool because it makes what looks like a lot of progress. But then when you start to get to a point where you want to tweak things, like I wanted to tweak the background color, and it just couldn't do it. It just couldn't change the background color. And then at one point, it, for no reason, just built the whole thing from scratch, and I lost a load of the features that I'd implemented. And yeah, it starts going in circles when you get to a point, and it just can't seem to do the hard stuff. So yeah, I'm not worried yet. Like I said, the graphical stuff, I'm not hugely impressed by. Yes, it can make, when I say graphical stuff, I mean things like graphic design and, I'm an illustrator, I do 2D character art and stuff like that, and animation. And it seems to struggle with simple stuff. It can do photorealistic stuff. We've all seen the photorealistic stuff. It can do it pretty well. But yeah, anything that's more abstract or precise, it really struggles with. So yeah, I'm not too worried yet. And I do think, if it gets to a point where everything is AI made, there will be a lot of people that want human made, the human touch, because there's something charming about human imperfection. And yeah, it just feels more or less. So I do think there will be, I'm not saying everyone will be looking for human made stuff, but there will be a subset of people that want humans to work on their projects and not AI. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried as of yet, but at the same time, there is kind of a lingering fear in the back of my head that, yeah, at some point we might all lose our jobs, and then what then is the question. But we're not there yet. So, and if it does get to that point, we will need some, if no one can earn any money by doing their craft, then the government will have to introduce some kind of universal basic income. And at that point, I will still do what I do because I enjoy doing it. I love creating stuff, so I don't think that will change for me. But I think a lot of people will lose the purpose because they go out to work, they do their job, they earn a living for their family. And if that's taken away, then people will lose a sense of purpose. For someone like me, I will just create stuff for the sake of creating stuff because that's what I enjoy, whether I'm getting paid for it or not. So I would be fine in that situation. But then if we do get universal basic income, then it's happening a lot in the UK at the minute anyway. It will kind of feel like a dictatorship. Once they give you the money, they kind of own you. Step out of line, they can take that money away. That is kind of a dystopian view, maybe a little bit conspiratorial. But things are starting to move in that direction with things like digital ID and all that kind of thing. I am digressing. Anyway, AI, cool for some stuff. Maybe not as great as the companies are trying to tell you. They're trying to make a bunch of money and trying to keep investors happy. So they're going to tell you it's awesome. But I don't think practically it's as good as they are peddling. But it is good for some stuff. It is getting better. So watch this space. If you like this kind of video, give me a subscribe and a like. The point of this channel is a personal one for me. I'm not trying to grow a huge YouTube following. I am simply documenting my journal entries. I'm trying to cement my thoughts, and doing it on camera keeps me accountable to keep this habit and this personal growth heading in the right direction. So yeah, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you like. If not, no worries. And I'll catch you in the next video.